Thank you, Alok, and welcome everyone. Greetings. And this is our weekly Wednesday healing inspiration and prayer session. Let's begin with a prayer. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Sri Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, beloved Guru Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, beloved friend and guide, Swami Kriyananda Ji, we humbly bow at thy feet. Divine Masters, we invite your power, your blessings into our lives, to be steadfast, to be expansive, to be giving and sharing your divine light and love. We are your children. May we always live in remembrance of our divine potential. Receive us on thy lap. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This is a topic, friends, that many of us find resonance with, and we experience it in our everyday in our life in some way or the other. And just a broad definition of what is negative and what is positive. Negative influence, anything that lowers our energy and demagnetizes us and hurts our consciousness, is a negative influence. Anything that is expansive, that uplifts our spirit, raises our energy, is a positive influence on our consciousness. And there are many ways that we may experience positive and negative influences in our life, through people, through environments, through circumstances, and most of all through ourselves. I think, and maybe let's start with ourselves. So what constitutes a negative influence? What lowers our energy? People carry moods, they may carry ill will, they may carry malevolence. Environments may be toxic, unsupportive, likewise circumstances. But these are all channels. These are all channels for a certain flow of energy, and we too are channels. We are all energy. This is our core teaching on the path, that everything is energy. Yogananda ji called it the law of invisible energy, vibratory exchange of energy. That we are all exchanging energy all the time. And if we are aware, if we are conscious, we will also be aware of the quality of the energy within us and around us. And Swami Kriyananda ji, in one of his articles, makes a very important point. He said, when there is an interaction between a positive and a negative sources of energy, if you're not attentive and if you're consciously not building that positive and sustaining a positive aura around you, you can be influenced negatively by a dark influence, especially if the negative magnetism is stronger than yours. So this, I have found in my experience, is extremely important: awareness. Because awareness helps you to control and channel the flow intelligently and with discrimination. Okay, because sometimes, people may come to us with a negative influence, and it may be a mood, it may be they're charming outside, but inwardly there is, a hard feeling against us. How do we practice conscious awareness when we are in such circumstances? This, of course, requires meditation. This, of course, requires daily practice of conscious awareness, every hour through the day. Just take a pause, calm your breath, and feel where is the breath in my body, because the breath is energy too, and it carries a lot of vital information about our consciousness. Restless energy, for example, scatters our divine potential and makes it mortal and limited. This is huge. On the other hand, a concentrated energy restores that same mortal limited energy to its divine potential. So this understanding is extremely important for us. That's how debilitating restlessness is that your dynamic, infinite, divine potential becomes mortal, but also equally great, and, unlike restlessness, 1,000 times greater is concentration that restores us to our divine potential. So, awareness and using that awareness, controlling and channeling the flow of energy within and around us with discrimination, with deep attention, and above all, reverence, starting with the understanding that everything has its source in light. But since we are in this plane of duality, the same source can also be a channel for darkness. Light and darkness play hand in hand in this creation, and that's what makes the show entertaining and educating. So Swamiji writes in his article, he said sometimes in our love for people, circumstances, we may underestimate our own consciousness and the present state of our consciousness. And we may say, oh, this is all light, this is all spirit, and I would love to give. But he warns us against, and this is where discrimination comes in. He says, are you really strong enough to protect yourself against a negative influence by continuing to be in that negative environment? This is a choice we have to make. We all, Babaji says a very important, beautiful point in the autobiography of a yogi. He says, in this world, everything is of mixed character. Take the sugar and leave the sand. I have been tuning into this beautiful aphorism over the past few months, and it just helps me to balance my energy. Sometimes when environments are not supportive, circumstances are challenging or destabilizing, this thought comes. Everything is of mixed character. Take the sugar, leave the sand. Well, we can write this down. It's very powerful in its potential to redirect our consciousness, thinking, and energy. So this is this is something I want to say. So we cannot just escape. We cannot just wish negative influences away. They are present in this world of duality. Okay. So protection. First, if possible, avoid situations, people, environments that are negative. If you cannot avoid, and especially if you're not strong enough to combat them or transcend them. And if avoidance is not practical, and if you are in situations where you have to be in the midst of such environments, raise your energy. Meditate before you go into such an environment or circumstance. Call on God's help to protect you. Practice visualization. We are channels of light. That is our true reality. Practice visualizing that the light is filling you within, and you're consciously, this is very important, conscious deep attention from your heart center, from your spiritual eye, emanate that light. Continue to emanate that light around you and maintain a very strong aura of that light around you. This is very, very, very helpful. And this is not in any particular sequence. These are all extremely powerful teachings, which I can say that has worked for me in my life too. And these are all Yogananda ji's very powerful recommendations. There's a very powerful mantras. Mantras are also very extremely powerful in protecting us from negative influences. And one mantra that has stood by me in the most difficult circumstances and even, possessions sometimes is Om Guru. Extremely powerful. All we need to do is practice chanting Om Guru enough so that when we are caught in a situation, because often what happens when we are caught in the midst of a negative situation, we are sucked into its whirlpool and we lose our moorings. So, but if you practice every day, Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Guru, when you're in a difficult situation, Om Guru comes back. So that has helped. Personally, it has helped me a lot. So just, when I'm in the midst of that, I just keep chanting Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Guru. And in a particular situation, even my ability to outwardly chant Om Guru was taken away. But then the thought came to me, did the divine also help? So you don't have to worry. Remember, friends, darkness cannot be stronger than the light. So the thought came, your thought is still with you. Keep Om Guru in your thought. And it took me out of that dark influence. So Om Guru is an extremely powerful mantra, and of course, don't it can't be passive. None of this can be passive. Negative energy is also energy, and it has strong magnetism. So if you're when you're rising, when you're trying to transcend or rise above it, you have to bring intense willpower, conscious power to rising above it. So conscious, passive chanting will not help. Conscious, aware, deeply calling to the masters, Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Guru, very extremely powerful in helping us to rise above negative influences. Satsangs, again, it's so important that Yogananda ji said, next to the Guru, the most important thing is satsang. What does a satsang do, friends? It builds fellowship. It expands your energy. Somebody who is not interested in satsang, you can automatically say is self preoccupied. But satsangs help us to get out of ourselves, share your sympathies, expand your energies, include others, joys and griefs in your own. Be a supportive influence, be a positive influence to the environment, to the people who are in the satsang. So these are important spiritual principles that we truly cannot progress on the spiritual path without getting out of the self. Without, as Yukteswarji once asked Master, do you love God? Do you love people? And Master said, no, I love only God. And then later, Master, of course, realized the import of why Yukteswarji was asking Master, do you love people? Because who are people? It's God in them. And when we are caught in the, this sway of duality. I don't get the words to it, but it's an amazing play. But when we are caught in its mesmerizing, aura, we tend to forget that, hey, this is all God, that all these various appearances that I'm enjoying, that I'm, feeling repelled with, they are all expressions, vibrations of God's consciousness. And as Kriya Yogis on the path, what we are trying to do is also be a conscious channel of light, not only for ourselves. It's not only about, okay, I'm in a difficult circumstance, I need to raise my energy. Definitely protect yourself, but also as we enter every day to practice a conscious channeling of light, that I'm here to share Guruji's light. We will fall many times, does not matter. What matters is the intention and coming back to the center of that intention. Picking up again and again. It takes a lot of practice, friends. Practice alone makes us perfect. Practice plays a extremely important part in perfecting everything we do, including our progress on the spiritual path, including our attempts to realize our greater self. So all of these very important, day after day, hour after hour, minutes, seconds, keep practicing Om Guru, practicing conscious awareness of I am a child of light. Affirmations when you're attacked by a negative thought from without or within. Trying to, sometimes, yes, you need somebody to talk it out with, but don't overindulge in it. Try to come back to an affirmation that helps you rise above it. And sometimes you may have slipped so far, but in time, sometimes be kind enough, give yourself time and come back to meditating. Forgiveness is a very powerful, antidote. Ask for forgiveness, pray for blessings for the person who may have had, you know, a negative spout of energy from us, pray for them, bless them. These are all ways. The consoling, comforting thought, friends, is God loves us always. We make mistakes, we fall, it does not matter. As Master said, God does not mind our faults, He minds our indifference. So this is again another very important principle. When we become a conscious channel for giving, we absorb much less negative influence. Because as human channels of energy, we can either give or we can either receive. So when you are constantly giving, when you're in that giving mode and not in the taking mode, So you receive less negative influences. So practice giving, practice giving, even in the midst of, maybe, you know, uh, uh, difficult conversation. Inwardly, you can chant to God, I am thine, be thou mine. I am thine, be thou mine. The person in front of you is also a channel of light, though at this moment that light is veiled. This is a wonderful story where Swami Kriyanandaji was at a conversation with a devotee and with someone who was not a devotee. And the devotee was, talking about everything in the world and, the politics and, society and all of it. And the devotee was wondering, why is Swamiji wasting his time here? And he was getting tired of it. And he kept looking at Swamiji. And then Swamiji very quietly, calmly, told him, I am thine, be thou mine. I am thine. So even while he was talking to this person, inwardly he was untouched. And inwardly he was untouched by that worldly influence, and he kept chanting inwardly, I am thine, be thou mine, I am thine, be thou. To be able to do that, now you might wonder, how do I split my energy or concentration to be able to pay attention to that and at the same time be able to chant for myself? Yeah, this is where practice reveals layers of intense awareness and power. So we have to tap into these practices, friends, and that's when you will truly discover that this is not just philosophy, it works. Okay, then a very, and I'll close with, oh my God, I'll close with this. Meditation, this Om Tat Sat, which is the Om Tat Sat is the Holy Trinity of God in this world and beyond. Before you enter a negative environment or a restless environment, you can, if you're sitting down, you can keep your hands by the side and then raise it up and let your palms touch at the top. So you can do this chanting mentally, Om Tat Sat. And again, bring your arms down. Again, bring it up, Om Tat Sat. And likewise, you can bring your arms in front of you and likewise take it around you, spreading a circle of light around you. Meet your palms behind, closing that circle. Om Tat Sat. Okay, so this is again a very powerful practice. And if we have had negative, interactions, close the loop by prayer or blessings, And if you've received from somebody, uh, gratefully, again to close that loop of energy, appreciation, sharing love in return is very important because that is what keeps the mutual magnetism, strong. So this is important. It is important to strengthen our magnetism to be able to withstand negative influences. And then again, one last point I'll make and close with this. Sometimes if you find yourself in the midst of a negative influence that you are surprised by and which is unsolicited in your life, Swamiji would say, maybe there's a lesson for us there. But again, use discrimination to see now among all these options that we have just studied, what works for you well. If you need to run, run. If you need to stay, stay and fight the battle and be a warrior. Master would say, fight with a stronger wrestler. So sometimes strong, difficult situations help us become strong. So don't run away as as a coward. Run with discrimination that, yeah, when you will not win the battle, retreat and strategize. This is every military general will know this, right? But when you know that you are in a strong position, then you stay, fight the battle and win it. So, but it is possible, friends. And like I said, positivity has the greater magnetism. So just lift your energy up the spine, bring it to this point. Keep the picture of a master in front of you and practice this meditation to strengthen your aura. Look into their eyes. Consciously, with deep reverence, draw that magnetism into your consciousness. With deep reverence and gratitude, draw it into your consciousness and offer yourself at their feet. This is the highest way of strengthening your aura, apart from meditation. So with that, and of course, this is a very, very deep topic and there's much more to say on this subject, but I'll close for now for lack of time. So thank you for offering me the extra 5 minutes, dear praying angels. But with that, I will close with a healing prayer for the world. The world is in need of much positive influence and power. Let us visualize this divine light of the masters from many thousands, millions, billions of souls. Let us inwardly pray to the masters to awaken their light in all those receptive souls. And wrapping our palms together, let us send out these blessings to the whole world. Om. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.